let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to do is the teardown. So before we unbolt the bumper, we're going to undo the wiring on both sides. Each side has a wiring that goes down and has your sensors and everything, the lighting for your license plate light. So you're going to come up here, there's a little press tab, you press the tab and you pull down on the wiring and it comes right out of this little plug. Go ahead and do it on both sides at this time. Inside the frame, under the body mount, there's a single bolt facing back, and that's part of the body mount. That's going directly into the little bracket that's on your rear bumper. We're going to pull that out. The head of that bolt is a 13mm head, so we're going to remove that. And that's on the other side as well. We'll pull the one on the other side too. Okay, once we remove the ones from behind the bumper where the body mount is, we're going to pull the two that are underneath the frame on both sides, and we'll go ahead and start on, this is on the right side. We'll take this one off. The head of these bolts are actually 18mm, so we're going to use an 18mm. We'll go ahead and do it on the other side. Okay. This is held on by like a little Christmas tree thing. You just pull on it, it comes right off. So now that all the mounting points are off, we can go ahead and pull the bumper off. The bumper is plastic, it's pretty lightweight, it has those little metal brackets on it. We're just going to be careful when we take it off, we're not dropping it. We're going to set this down off to the side, and then we'll come back and we're actually going to be removing the backup sensors from this and transferring them to the other bumper for stage 0 and stage 1 bumpers. The teardown's done at this point. Stage 0 and stage 1, you're not doing the swing arm. You're doing just the bumper shell and the bumper system. So you would leave everything else at this point forward, would just be focusing on getting the bumpers prepped and back on the truck, the new one. Since this is a stage 3, same as stage 2, we're going to remove the factory tire mount off the back door, and there's a couple of, it's more than just unbolting it at its main locations. We do have to disconnect the wiring from inside, and so we're going to go ahead and do that by opening up the door, taking the panel apart and disconnecting this piece to make it so that this is really easy for us to come off with all the electrical already off. Behind the door we have the access panels that are going to give us access inside the door. Now we do need to remove both of these access panels in order to be able to route the wiring that we're going to be doing for the backup camera, because we're going to be running it through the factory loom again. I'm going to use some panel removing tools. You can use a heavy piece of plastic or something. I really recommend just ordering or just having some of these on hand. They're really inexpensive. There's just little plastic pry pieces so you don't mess your paint up, but they work extremely well. So I'm going to go ahead and start removing this panel here. So we've removed this panel. We're able to go ahead and have access to all the wiring now. And now we're going to go ahead and move this panel here to allow us to get to the plug. So we got the cover off, access to the door. This is the rear plug. We're going to be pushing this out the back door, but first we need to do is disconnect the wiring harness from its two connections. And the two connections are right above it. They're right above. We have an electrical connection, then we have a coaxial connection for the camera. And they're just on regular push clips. So you're going to push the clip down and put the release down on the clip and pull it, and we'll go ahead and separate. And once we have those two separated, then we'll be able to push the wiring harness through from the inside of the door out to the outside of the door. To remove this back plug, we're going to push these little clips in, and these little retaining clips just press in all the way around. So you got to kind of work your way around and push out as you do it to get the clip to get the little cage to pop out the outside. And as it just kind of starts coming out, I work it out. Now it's completely loose. Now I can pull it through, and since we already undid those plugs, this is now loose. So with this loose, we now have the ability to go ahead and remove the tire carrier off the back door. The tire carrier is going to come off in one piece. Now this piece includes the third brake light, the camera, and of course the tire carrier itself. And it's only held on by these 8 bolts that are mounted right into the aluminum back door. But since we've already undone the wiring, we don't have anything that's going to get hung up. So we can go ahead and undo this and pull it directly off. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking it off now. You can hold on to it as I pull the last bolt. This comes right off. We have our tire carrier, camera mount, third brake light assembly off the back door of the truck. The wiring harness is still attached to it. And we're going to break this down so we can get our camera out and our wiring harness. It's actually really simple to do. First thing we're going to do is flip it over. And this wiring on the back side, we're going to go ahead and release it from the housing. And these little push clips just clip onto the blade of plastic that's there. So you just pull up, They come off like that. I got this connection here. We're not going to be reusing that, so I'm going to actually just cut the little wire clip that it has on it because we're not going to need that anymore. So now this is loose and ready for us to start separating this unit. So next we're going to go ahead and remove the TP30 bolts, which are here, here. That's going to allow the bracket that holds the camera to drop out. It also has your studs for your tire on it. Those are going to drop out. And then I'm going to remove the TP30s down below. Here, 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 and here, these four. That's going to separate the mast that has the third brake light in it. So I can pull that away. So inside, once you've released all that, you have this piece here, and it's just setting in here. So you just need to go to work your way around on it to pull it out. And once you do that, then you'll be able to pop the camera out. So now that we've pulled the camera out of the main holder, this is no longer needed. We're going to go ahead and set this off to the side. And we're left with this assembly. And the camera is sitting inside this metal reinforcement. And we're going to leave that in there because the wire is holding it all together right now. We can go ahead and flip this over. And we're going to go ahead and disconnect the camera. And the camera is being held in by this little Torx screw right there. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove that small screw, and that's going to allow us to be able to have the camera come loose. So that's out. This little lock mount just rocks right off. The camera will push back and come right out. Now we can go ahead and release this clip here. And with that released, that's going to let us remove the camera completely. So now the camera is removed. We're going to set that safely off to the side. So now we got the camera out, we can go ahead and pass the wiring through. The camera wiring is now loose. We can go ahead and set that to the side. Now we're going to go ahead and break the camera holder, or excuse me, the tower down that holds the third brake light. We're going to use a TP20 bit to go ahead and remove these TP20 screws. And it's just this little clamshell design. So now we can come in and disconnect all the wiring. So this is just sitting on a little Christmas tree connection, so we'll go ahead and cut that free. And then we'll disconnect the plug up here. This is a regular plug. Again, it's a press clip, so I just press on it and it will unclip. So we're going to take the harness out of the back door cover. We're going to go ahead and clip the little wire connection on it. And we're just cutting that so the wire connection is loose. And then we're going to go ahead and find the end of the electrical wrap that they put on it. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the electrical wrap. So I'm going to come in and very carefully make an incision up the side of this to allow for the large ends to be able to pass through. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side so I can pull them through this cover. Both of these pass through this. Obviously it's really tiny, so we had to make the incisions to be able to do it, to bring it through. Now I was very careful. We didn't cut any of the wiring, and we only cut the minimum of this rubber cover. This rubber grommet here, when we took this off the truck, we were very careful that we didn't completely damage this thing. So it is cut in order to be split to get it open, but we're going to be putting some RTV on that to seal it up. I want to use this and keep this around because when I run antenna wiring from inside the truck, I want to come through here, and this is absolutely perfect for that. So we're going to go ahead and take this. It just snaps right back in the hole. It's very simple. I'm going to bring it up here and just snap it in.